Yo guys, what's going on? It's Shauno here, and today we'll be looking at a brand new build for Phase 2. It's called the Frostfire Bolt build. We'll be going through the talents, the playstyle, and Pre-BiS options, and how it's going to compete against Fire and Arcane. As always, there'll be timestamps in the description, so if you want to skip to something, just go right ahead. Otherwise, we're going to get into the build right now. So first, we'll look at the talents. As I said, it's a Frostfire Bolt, so we won't be using Fireball and we won't be using Frostbolt. Therefore, the first set of talents we're going to take is 5 out of 5 Impact, just because we get no benefit from this at all. Then we want 5 out of 5 Ignite, 1 out of 2 in Flame Throwing, 2 out of 2 in Incinerate, 2 out of 2 in Burning Soul, 3 out of 3 in Improved Scorch. The most important spells in the fire tree are the Ignite and the Improved Scorch. As it counts as a fire spell and a frost spell, it benefits from Ignite and it benefits from the plus damage of Improved Scorch. In the frost tree, we'll go 3 out of 3 Elemental Precision. This is way over the hit cap, but like I said, we don't get any benefit from Improved Frostbolt, so we're going to take it anyway. Same with Frost Warding, we don't really get much benefit from it, but we're going to take it because it's better than Improved Frostbolt. The next is the most important part of the frost tree. It's the Ice Shards. It increases the critical damage bonus of your frost spells by 100%. Now remember, Frostfire Bolt counts as a frost spell as well. Then we'll want 2 out of 3 Piercing Ice and 1 out of 1 in Cold Snap. For runes, we're going to take Chest, Burnout. You could say that Fingers of Frost is worth taking, but Burnout actually works out a lot better. For the leg room, we're going to use Icy Veins. Now, although Living Flame is very strong, with Cold Snap we can use Icy Veins twice, and that actually works out better damage overall. For the hand room, we're going to be using Living Bomb. Ice Lance isn't that great in comparison, so we'll take Living Bomb because we're going to have fire damage anyway. For the waist rune, we of course have to take Frostfire Bolt. And for the foot rune, we're going to take Spell Power because this is working out as much better DPS than Brain Freeze. Brain Freeze would need some kind of buff. I'm not sure how, but Spell Power is too good to ignore. That's it for the tree. Now we're going to look at some Pre-BiS options. Now because it's a rune, we can sort of spend more on spell damage. We're not too worried about mana because having runes is very efficient for mana, as we know with Arcane Blast. Now the head, we want the mains head. This is the new version. This version drops in Cathedral in Scarlet Monastery. For the neck, we want the Ghost Shards Talisman. This drops in the Scarlet Monastery Graveyard. If you have the Jagged Bone Necklace, you can use that as well. For the shoulders, we'll be using the Mantle of Doan, which drops in the Scarlet Monastery Library. For the cloak, we'll be using the plus 14 fire damage green cloak. For chest, we'll be using the Cindercloth Robe. This is crafted by tailoring and has been added for Phase 2. It's 27 damage to fire spells. For the wrists, we'll be using the Warsong Gulch Exalted Rep wrists. If you don't have those, you can use any green wrists with plus 14 fire damage, or you can use the Phoenix Bindings still, which are 13 fire damage. For the weapon, we'll use the new Narpas Sword. Now the way you make this is you need to get a Hypnotic Blade from Scarlet Monastery. And once you got this, you'll get a rare scroll drop that you can use on this blade and it will make this sword with 15 damage on it. For the offhand, we're using the Celestial Orb from the Mage quest. For the hands, we'll be using the plus 20 fire damage green hands. For the belt, we'll be using the plus 20 fire damage green belt. For the legs, we'll be using the plus 27 fire damage green legs. For the boots, we'll be using the South Sea Mojo boots, which give 11 intellect and 8 spell damage. For the rings, we'll use the Advisor's rings. You can use one that's level 38 and one that's level 28. For the trinkets, we use the Void Pearl and the Engineering Trinket. If you don't use the Engineering Trinket, you can just use the Warsong Gulch Trinket or any other trinket. For the wand, we're trying to find the plus fire damage wand, the green wand. Now the idea of this gear is we're going to get insane fire damage. So we've got 227 fire damage, which will count towards our Frostfire Bolt and our Ignite procs and our Living Bomb and all of our damage. We of course use Improved Scorch to increase fire damage as well. So the way this works is we'll be ramping up the Improved Scorch as normal, using Living Bomb as normal, but instead of Fireball, we'll be using Frostfire Bolt. And because of the ice shards, we increase the critical strike damage bonus by 100%, plus with the spell power it's 50. So the idea is to get your Frostfire bolt to crit, and when it does crit, the ignite procs will be huge. Now, I'm going to tell you why the Frostfire bolt spec is not very good. Firstly, Frostfire bolt itself is not doing enough damage. When compared to Fireball, Fireball is a lot better. So it is kind of hard to understand why you would use Frostfire bolt over Fireball. The second thing is that Hot Streak is on the same room spot. So it's possible if you had Frostfire bolt with Hot Streak that we could look to have a much stronger build. If the developers are listening, maybe try and figure that out. If we could have Frostfire bolt on the hands, for example, and then have Hot Streak on the waist, Frostfire bolt might be very, very good. But at the moment, it's competing against Hot Streak, it's competing against Missile Barrage, both of which are going to end up much stronger. So to summarize, Frostfire bolt as it stands is a bit of a meme. It's been simmed by some very high level mages that have found in every simulation that Fireball is better. Not only is Fireball better, but Fireball will have Hot Streaks. And Hot Streaks with combustion and everything is just going to be so much better than this build. As much as I'd want it to work and to give us something new, it's not going to be able to compete as high as Fire. That said, you can still use it. I know there's people that love Frost and will want to try and work out this build, see if they can work Shatter into it. But again, without Hot Streaks, it's a bit of a meme. So an easy solution is to put it onto the hand rune so we get Hot Streak as well. So that's everything on Frostfire bolt. It was just a quick video to show you how the spec would work and the best way to use it. You can still use it. It's just that Fire and Arcane will be much higher. That's of course in this current state. So the developers might choose to buff it like they did with Star Surge for Druids, for example. Now, if they took Frostfire bolt and increased it by the same 600% or whatever it was, we might be looking at a very good spec here. So keep that in mind. Anyway, I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see in the future. And if you have any questions on this build or whether you would incorporate Shatter, but we've simulated this build and improved Scorch is the best way to go. Thank you very much, guys.